What if I told you that the primary reason you feel stuck, despite all your meditation, visualization, and positive thinking, isn't in your mind, but in the very air you breathe? There's a scientific discovery that reveals your breath is not just a function for survival. It's a powerful broadcasting antenna sending signals to the universe every single second. Now, what if that broadcast wasn't just a metaphor? What if quantum physics is now providing concrete proof of what ancient mystics have known for millennia? That every single breath you take creates a measurable electromagnetic field that is either systematically building the life of your dreams or actively dismantling it from the inside out. In this video, I am going to give you the exact protocol to transform this unconscious biological function into a conscious act of creation. We will unlock the hidden power in the 0.3-second pause between your breaths, a sacred window where you can literally reprogram your reality. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you will no longer be breathing just to survive. You will be breathing to create. What if your breath wasn't just a function of survival, but a sacred instrument of creation? There's a groundbreaking discovery from the Heart Math Institute that explains exactly why you feel stuck despite all your personal development work, and why simply trying to change your thoughts will never, ever work. The moment you truly understand what you're about to learn, you stop breathing to survive. You start breathing to create your reality, and in that shift, everything changes. Now, here's what's so shocking about this. Most people take approximately 23.000 breaths every single day, and nearly all of them are completely unconscious. Imagine having 23.00 chances every day to win the lottery, but you throw every single ticket away without even looking at it. That is precisely what most of us are doing. We are taking shallow, anxious breaths while rushing through stressful meetings. We are holding our breath while scrolling through our phones. We are sighing with frustration while sitting in traffic. We are breathing erratically while lying in bed at night, replaying old arguments and worrying about tomorrow. But we never stop to ask the most important question: why does my external reality keep reflecting my internal chaos? We try to fix our circumstances, rearrange the furniture on a sinking ship, instead of changing the fundamental frequency that creates those circumstances in the first place. We react emotionally to our problems, which just generates more of the same energetic patterns, because we don't realize that our breath, through the field generated by our heart, is literally broadcasting our emotional state to everyone and everything within an 8-foot radius of us. This is exactly why positive thinking and visualization exercises so often fail for most people. It's like trying to paint a beautiful picture on a canvas that is violently shaking. But there's a quantum principle that changes everything. When you understand that every breath you take creates an electromagnetic field that either builds the life you want or dismantles it, you can finally stop fighting your circumstances and start programming your reality from the inside out. I am going to show you the exact 4-step sacred breath protocol that transforms you from someone who is a victim reacting to life into someone who is consciously creating it. Plus, I'll give you the quantum pause technique that makes this process automatic in just 0.3 seconds. So you become the calm, coherent center that organizes reality instead of being swept away by it. Every unconscious breath you take is a missed opportunity to literally reshape your reality. And most people waste 23.000 of these precious opportunities. Every single day, when you were born, you didn't think your way into existence. You breathed. Your very first act in this world was not a thought, a word, or even a cry. It was an inhale. Your soul did not announce its arrival with logic. It entered this physical reality on a silent, powerful wave of oxygen, a profound rhythm that connected the unseen world with the seen. In that first, pure moment, you knew something that you have likely since forgotten. Breath is the bridge between who you were and who you are becoming. But somewhere along the way, we unlearned this sacred wisdom. We learned to breathe like machines instead of like the divine beings we are. We began breathing from a place of survival rather than from the soul. Take a moment right now and just notice your breath. Don't change it, just observe it. Where is it coming from? Is it high up in your chest? Is it shallow and quick? If you're like most people in our modern, fast-paced world, it probably is. This is what I call mechanical breathing. It's the kind of breathing that keeps your body alive, but leaves your spirit starving for connection. Ancient wisdom keepers across the globe understood something we've collectively forgotten. From the Sanskrit word prana, which means not just breath but the universal life force energy that animates all things, to the Hebrew word ruach, which means breath, wind, and the very Spirit of God. Cultures across time recognized breath as far more than a simple biological function. They knew it was the sacred thread connecting the physical and the quantum, the human and the divine. In these traditions, conscious breathing wasn't just a practice, it was a doorway to other realms of consciousness. The ancient Egyptians taught that each specific type of breath could awaken different chambers of consciousness within the human temple. The yogis of India discovered that by controlling the breath, you could not only shift your inner state from anxiety to peace, but you could influence the very fabric of reality around you. They weren't speaking metaphorically. They understood that when you breathe consciously, you are not just moving air through your lungs. You are moving energy through existence itself. Think about this for a moment. Every emotion you have ever felt, every decision you have ever made, every moment of brilliant clarity or deep confusion has been accompanied by a unique breathing pattern. When you feel anxious, your breath becomes rapid and shallow. When you are at peace, it naturally deepens and slows. Your breath isn't just reflecting your state of being, it is actively creating and reinforcing it. The difference between mechanical breathing and sacred breathing is one simple, yet profound word: awareness. Mechanical breathing happens to you. Sacred breathing happens through you, with you as a conscious participant in the sacred conversation between your inner world and the quantum field that surrounds you. When you begin to breathe with intention, with presence, and with a deep reverence for this simple act that connects you to all of life, something magical begins to happen. You stop being a passive recipient of whatever reality happens to show up at your door, and you become an active participant in shaping it. This is where your breath becomes sacred, Because every breath you take from that place of awareness is no longer just keeping you alive. It is keeping you aligned with your true creative power. What I am about to reveal next will shatter the illusion you've been living under your entire life. You think you are in control of your thoughts, but in reality, you are their prisoner. Most of us spend our lives believing that we are our thoughts. We wake up in the morning, and immediately the internal chatter begins. What do I have to do today? I'm already running late. I wonder if they were upset by what I said yesterday. I should check my phone. We assume this non-stop voice in our head is us. But what if I told you that is not who you really are? Right now, as you are taking in these words, I want you to do something simple. Notice your breath again, but this time, make no effort to change it. Just watch it, as if you were a curious scientist. Feel the sensation of the air moving in through your nostrils. Feel it filling your lungs, and then feel it slowly releasing back into the world. As you do this for just a moment, something remarkable is happening. You are becoming the observer of your breath, rather than just the unconscious breather. Now, while you are watching your breath, notice what your mind is doing. It might be commenting on the process. This is silly, or I'm not doing this right. Or, when will this be over? Here is the beautiful, life-changing revelation. If you can hear those thoughts, if you can observe them coming and going like clouds in the sky, then you cannot be those thoughts. You are the one watching them. This is the birth of the observer, the part of you that exists beyond the endless, noisy stream of mental chatter. Imagine you are sitting peacefully on the bank of a great river. That river is the stream of your thoughts. Sometimes the water is clear and calm, flowing gently. Other times, after a storm of stress, it is a rushing, turbulent torrent of muddy water, carrying the debris of old fears and future worries. For most of our lives, we jump into that river and get swept away by the current, believing we are the chaos. The great revelation of awakening is realizing that you can simply sit on the bank. You are not the river. You are the silent, spacious awareness that perceives the river. In ancient traditions, they used the metaphor of the sky and the clouds. Your thoughts, emotions, and sensations are like clouds passing across the vast, open expanse of your consciousness. Some clouds are dark and stormy, worry, fear, doubt. Others are light and fluffy, joy, excitement, hope. But notice this profound truth. The sky itself is never disturbed by the clouds. It remains constant, spacious, and unchanged, whether the weather is clear or stormy. This observer consciousness is your true nature. It is the part of you that has remained unchanged since you were a child. It's the silent, witnessing presence that has been watching your entire life unfold. Your ego mind, that voice that never stops talking, wants you to believe it's in charge. It creates elaborate, often negative, stories about who you are, what you should do, and what others think of you. It lives in constant commentary about the past and a state of anxiety about the future. But the observer lives only in this present moment, in the eternal now, where all real power resides. When you begin to identify more with the observer and less with the mental chatter, You stop being reactive and become responsive. Instead of being swept away by every emotion or thought, you can watch them arise, acknowledge them without judgment, and then consciously choose how to respond. This is where your true freedom begins. The breath becomes your anchor to this observer consciousness. Every time you consciously return your attention to the rhythm of your breathing, you are returning home to who you really are. You're stepping out of the drama of your thoughts and into the peace of pure awareness. And this isn't just a spiritual concept. This is quantum mechanics in action. The famous observer effect in quantum physics tells us that the simple act of observation literally changes the nature of reality. When you become the conscious observer of your inner world, you gain the undeniable power to influence and shape your outer world. Have you ever experienced a moment where time seemed to slow down or even stop? Perhaps it was during a sudden crisis, or in a moment of profound beauty, or in the arms of someone you loved. Hidden in the gap between your breaths is a 0.3-second window where you can literally reprogram your reality. But 99% of people never learn how to consciously access it. Those moments from your past when time seemed to bend weren't accidents. They were glimpses of what becomes possible when you intentionally slip into the space between thoughts, between heartbeats, between breaths. In that suspended moment, you touched something eternal, something beyond the ordinary flow of time. You discovered the quantum poles. Take a breath right now, but this time, pay close attention not just to the inhale and the exhale, but to what happens in between. There's a moment, however brief, where everything stops. Your lungs are full, but you haven't yet begun to exhale. And then, at the bottom of your exhale, there is another profound pause before the next inhale begins. These are not empty spaces. They are sacred doorways. The ancient Egyptian initiates understood this secret. In the mystery schools along the Nile, seekers were told to consciously enter these gaps in the breath. They called it dwelling in the silence of Ra, the generative space where the sun god rested between breaths of creation, gathering potential before bringing a new day into existence. These weren't just breathing exercises. They were advanced training in accessing the field of infinite possibility that exists in every moment of stillness. The Egyptians knew what quantum physics is only now beginning to prove. In the space between one state and another, anything can emerge. Think of the most beautiful piece of music you have ever heard. Its power comes not just from the notes, but from the silence between the notes. Without the pauses, there is no rhythm, no melody, no beauty, only noise. Your breath creates this same sacred rhythm in your life. In this quantum pause, your usual mental commentary falls away. The constant stream of I should, I must, I need goes quiet. And in that silence, pure intention can crystallize, not the desperate wanting of the ego, but the clear, calm knowing of the soul. It's here that your deepest desires stop being mere wishes and become powerful instructions to the quantum field. Think of this pause as the womb of creation itself, just as a child grows in the dark, quiet, protected space of the mother's womb. Your dreams and intentions need this sacred darkness, this stillness, to take shape. The ancient mystics sometimes called it the eye of the needle, that impossibly small opening through which infinite possibilities must pass to become manifest reality. Most people rush past these moments, breathing quickly, thinking constantly, always moving toward the next thing. But when you learn to rest in the pause, when you can be comfortable in the space between what was and what will be, you discover that this is where all true power lives. It's not about holding your breath or forcing anything. It's about learning to be present with the natural rhythm of your own being. And in that presence, touching the place where your intention meets infinite possibility, in the quantum pause, you're not trying to control the field, you are communing with it. But accessing this quantum pause, this divine stillness, is only the beginning. There is a deeper layer waiting to be awakened. For years, your body has been sending you signals, a tightness in your chest, a knot in your stomach, an ache in your shoulders. These ignored messages are literally blocking your ability to manifest. That deeper awakening isn't found by reaching higher or thinking more sophisticated thoughts. It's discovered by traveling inward, descending from the realm of the mind into the sacred landscape of your body. Just as ancient civilizations built magnificent temples to house the divine, you too must learn to construct an inner temple, not with stone and mortar, but with breath and awareness. Your physical body, right now, is no different. It is already a magnificent temple, a sacred architecture designed to house the divine. But for most of us, it is a temple we have never learned to consciously inhabit. The ancient Egyptians understood this with profound depth. They meticulously mapped the human body as a living temple, with specific energy centers corresponding to different chambers of consciousness. They knew that the breath was the master key that could unlock each room, revealing not just the divine potential within, but also the stories, traumas, and deeply ingrained patterns that had been stored in the body's cellular wisdom. As you begin to breathe more consciously, allowing your breath to travel deeper into your body, you might notice something interesting happening. Certain areas may feel tight, constricted, heavy, or somehow unavailable to the breath. This is not a sign of failure. It is a sign of discovery. Your shoulders might carry the fossilized weight of responsibilities you've been shouldering for years. Burdens that were never yours to bear. Your chest might feel armored and tight, a protective shield built around a heart that learned to close after being betrayed or disappointed. Your stomach might hold the churning knots of anxiety about a future that never arrives, or the undigested pain of past events. Your throat might feel constricted, holding back a graveyard of unspoken words and unexpressed truths. These aren't just random physical sensations. They are biographical. They are archives. Your body has been keeping a perfect, honest score of your entire life, storing the unprocessed emotional residue of every single experience in its very tissues. That tightness in your chest might be the lingering ghost of grief you never allowed yourself to fully process. The tension in your shoulders could be the energetic signature of carrying everyone else's problems. Your body is a living library of your history, and every ache and point of tension is a book waiting to be read with compassion. But here is the beautiful. liberating truth about conscious breathing. It doesn't just reveal these patterns, it is the primary tool to help dissolve them. Each conscious, deep breath you take is like sending a gentle, loving crew of renovators into the dusty, forgotten chambers of your inner temple. The breath doesn't force anything. It simply introduces light, air, and presence, clearing out of old emotional debris, opening blocked passageways, and patiently restoring the natural, divine flow of energy that has always wanted to move through you. Imagine descending slowly through the floors of this inner temple with each breath. As you breathe deeply into your chest, you are consciously visiting the great chamber of the heart, the sacred seat of love, connection, and profound emotional wisdom. As your breath moves down into your belly, you are entering the chamber of power, instinct, and intuition, the place where your deepest, gut knowing resides. With each mindful breath, you are not just observing these sacred spaces. You are purifying them, you are blessing them with your attention, you are reclaiming them as your own. The ancient Egyptians built their great pyramids to align perfectly with celestial energies, creating immense structures that could channel cosmic forces down into earthly form. Through the simple, sacred act of conscious breathing, you are doing the exact same thing with the living temple of your body. You are aligning your inner architecture with the higher frequencies of love, peace, and creative power that constantly want to flow through you. This isn't about perfecting your body or forcing it to be different. It is about learning to inhabit it fully, to honor the profound intelligence that has been guiding you all along, and to gently clear the energetic blocks that have been preventing your fullest, most brilliant expression from shining forth. And once your inner temple begins to be cleared and consecrated, something truly remarkable begins to happen to everything and everyone around you. Science has now proven that your breath, in concert with your heart, creates a powerful electromagnetic field that extends up to 8 feet from your body in all directions. This means you are unconsciously influencing everyone around you. Right now, this is not just a poetic metaphor. It is measurable, verifiable science. Research from the renowned Heart Math Institute has shown that your heart generates the body's most powerful electromagnetic field, thousands of times stronger than the brain's, and this field changes dramatically, moment by moment, based on the quality and coherence of your breathing. When your breathing is chaotic, shallow, or driven by stress, your field broadcasts the discordant chaos to everyone and everything within its reach. But when your breathing becomes coherent, deep, and intentional, your field becomes a powerful source of harmony, a resonant frequency of peace that other people can actually feel and respond to. Often without knowing why, think of your personal energy field like the surface of a vast, still mountain lake. When you breathe from a place of anxiety, stress, or rushing thoughts, you are like someone frantically splashing and struggling in the water, sending out chaotic, incoherent waves that disturb everything around you. But when you learn to breathe from that calm, conscious center we've been cultivating, you become like the great mountain itself, reflected perfectly on the lake's placid, glassy surface, still, grounded, silent, and magnetically peaceful. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt either agitated or calm? Without a single word being spoken, have you ever noticed how certain people seem to carry an aura of peace with them wherever they go, while others seem to trail chaos in their wake? This is not your imagination, it is the breath field in action. We are constantly transmitting our internal state through the rhythm and quality of our breathing. And others are receiving these signals on a subconscious, energetic level. Children are especially sensitive to these fields. They haven't yet learned to build the thick mental walls that adults use to override their natural intuition. So they respond immediately and honestly to the energy we're broadcasting. When a parent breathes with stress and anxiety, a child often becomes restless, agitated, or clingy without understanding why. But when that same parent takes just a few conscious, deep breaths and settles into their center, the child often calms down naturally, as if by magic. It's not magic, it's physics. This field effect extends to every single interaction you have. When you enter a difficult conversation centered in your breath, you are not just preparing yourself, you are creating an energetic container of safety and coherence that allows for a more peaceful and productive resolution to emerge. When you walk into your workplace from this centered state, you subtly influence the entire atmosphere, making it easier for creativity, collaboration, and harmony to flow. The beautiful thing about understanding your breath field is that it shows you how deeply connected we all really are. You're not just an isolated individual trying to improve your own life. You are a vital part of a vast, interconnected web of consciousness, and every single breath you take with awareness, with intention, with peace, contributes to the overall field of harmony and possibility on this planet. But this profound influence isn't something you need to actively think about or manage. It happens naturally as a byproduct of focusing on aligning your own inner temple. The field responds to authenticity, not performance. When you breathe from a genuine place of presence and peace, that genuineness radiates outward effortlessly. This is why the ancient teachings often spoke of the awakened person as someone who serves the world simply by being. They understood that consciousness itself is contagious, that peace is magnetic, and that one person breathing from their true center can powerfully shift the energy of an entire room. You've traveled far on this journey without ever leaving your seat, not across lands, but across layers of yourself, through rhythm, through silence, through observation. The most successful and impactful people in history, the great mystics, inventors, and leaders, all mastered one thing you've likely never been taught: how to access infinite power through absolute stillness. And in that inner travel, you have stumbled upon a secret the modern world desperately tries to make us forget. The most powerful thing you can do to change your reality is often to do nothing at all. We live in a culture that worships frantic action. It tells us that more effort equals more results. That being busy is a badge of honor. It keeps us constantly striving, constantly pushing, constantly chasing the next goal. But the quantum field, the universal intelligence that responds to your consciousness, operates by a completely different set of rules. The field doesn't respond to how hard you try, it responds to how aligned you are. It doesn't care about your to-do list or your 5-year plan. It cares about your frequency, your coherence, your state of being, and the most powerful, coherent, and creative state of being is dynamic stillness, not the lifeless stillness of exhaustion or giving up, but the vibrant, potent stillness of a great mountain. Think about a mountain for a moment. It appears completely still, yet it is tremendously powerful. It does not struggle against the raging storms. It allows them to pass over and around it. It does not chase the sunset in a desperate attempt to hold onto the light. It simply receives its warmth and its glow. Rivers are born on its slopes. Seasons change upon its face. Civilizations rise and fall at its feet. Yet it remains, centered in its own immense, silent presence. This is not a passive stillness. This is the generative stillness that moves worlds. When you learn to breathe into this mountain-like stillness within yourself, something extraordinary begins to happen. Reality begins to rearrange itself around you instead of you constantly fighting against it. Opportunities that you could never have forced through share will begin to appear naturally. The right people who can help you seem to cross your path at exactly the right moment. Solutions to problems you've been wrestling with for weeks suddenly become obvious in a flash of insight. This isn't magic. It is a form of spiritual physics. When you are in a state of stillness and coherence, you are no longer broadcasting the chaotic, needy signals of desperation, control, or struggle. Instead, you are emanating the clear, stable frequency of trust, receptivity, and alignment. The field responds to this profound clarity by organizing circumstances to match your state. Consider the eye of a hurricane. All around it, winds rage at hundreds of miles per hour. Destruction and chaos swirl in every direction. But at the very center, there is a point of perfect calm, perfect stillness. From that silent center, the entire massive storm system is organized. This is the kind of stillness you can cultivate within yourself, not the stillness of someone who has given up, but the profound stillness of someone who has learned to be the organizing principle of their own life. The difference between control and alignment becomes crystal clear in this stillness. Control is the ego's exhausting attempt to manipulate external circumstances to match its desires. It is a constant fight against the natural flow of life. Alignment, however, is the soul's effortless state of internal coherence that naturally magnetizes external harmony. Control is swimming upstream. Alignment is gracefully riding the current. When you breathe consciously, when you rest in the quantum poles, when you inhabit your inner temple fully, you're not trying to make things happen. You are allowing things to happen through you. You become a clear channel for the intelligence of the universe to express itself in your life. This doesn't mean becoming passive or lazy. True stillness is incredibly alive, potent, and aware. It is the focused stillness of a master archer just before releasing the arrow, completely present, completely ready, and perfectly aligned for whatever emerges. From this place, your actions become both effortless and incredibly effective, because they arise from a place of deep alignment rather than surface-level effort. You have journeyed through the sacred temple of your breath. discovering that those 23.00 daily breaths are not mere biological functions, but profound opportunities for conscious creation. You have awakened the silent observer within, that eternal part of you that watches faults like clouds passing across the infinite sky of your being. In the quantum pause between breaths, you have found the sacred doorway where pure intention crystallizes into reality. Through the metaphor of building your inner temple, you have learned that your body is not just flesh and bone, but a living sanctuary, storing the stories of your life while offering clear pathways to healing and transformation. You have discovered that your breath creates a powerful electromagnetic field, making you a constant broadcaster of peace or chaos to everyone you encounter. And finally, you have touched the profound truth that the most powerful action is often no action at all, the dynamic stillness that allows reality to reorganize itself around your coherent presence. There will be moments when the world pulls you back into the chaos, when emotion clouds your lens, when thoughts spiral out of control. In those moments, remember that the shortest path home is always your breath. 3 conscious inhales can bring you back to the seat of the observer. 1 intentional pause between breaths can reconnect you to the quantum field. A single moment of stillness can restore the sanctity of your inner temple. This isn't about perfection, it is about returning again and again and again. Each time you remember to breathe consciously, you are not just improving your day, you are reshaping your reality from the quantum level up. You are becoming a living demonstration of the truth that consciousness, not circumstance, is the ultimate creative force in the universe. Now, as you leave this space, take this rhythm with you. Let your breath be your compass. Let stillness be your throne. Let awareness walk with you in every word, every choice, and every sacred pause. If this journey into the power of your breath and the nature of your consciousness has awakened something within you, please honor that feeling by giving this video a like. It is a simple act that helps this message find others who are searching for it. And be sure to subscribe and click that powerful notification bell, because our journey into these truths together is only just getting started. And now, I want to create a field of coherence right here in our community. In the comments below, share 1 word that describes how you feel after taking just 1 conscious breath right now. Is it calm, centered, spacious, hopeful? Let's fill this space with our collective intention. Thank you for sharing your sacred time and attention. Now, go and breathe, not to survive, but to create. The breath is the key. You have always been the door. It is time to walk through.